If you haven't read or watched Ready Player One, then this will be a tough watch. It'll assume that you understand the general story and don't mind the occasional spoiler. It's also worth noting that this criticism will be mainly focused on the movie, even if some of the problems I list apply to the book. One more thing. I don't like this movie. It's a milquetoast take on the cyberpunk genre, and the box office numbers, combined with the overall positive reception, boils my blood. Just a bit of context. Ready Player One has a lot of flaws. Its most glaring one is how it delivers exposition. It has a common problem found in lackluster writing called info dumping. I personally like to use the made-up term exposition dumpster when referring to a case of info dumping, so that will be taking info dumping's place for the rest of the video. It refers to a place where the story completely halts to spoon-feed information more so to the audience than to the story world itself. This comes in the form of narrations, voiceovers, and walls of text. Exposition dumpsters can be more forgiving in a play or book since the world's backstory can't be as easily conveyed visually. However, movies are a visual medium, and the show don't tell rule applies here more often than not. The major downside of the exposition section is its lack of visual flair and character. The screen can't be cluttered with visual storytelling, since that would impede the reader's ability to read, and since the exposition dumpster is usually impersonal, the time spent in it disregards characterization and character development. Ready Player One. Like other fantasy stories including Jupiter Ascending, The Mummy 2017, and Fantastic, all terrible movies, contains multiple exposition sections, since world building's put above storytelling. Before I continue, I want to make something clear. Story doesn't automatically fail if it has an exposition dumpster or two. When in Blade Runner, the text scrolls at the beginning, it's mostly an exposition dumpster. The background of the world is boringly plastered on a black screen and almost becomes irrelevant a few scenes later when the plight of replicants and Decker's job is set up. The section doesn't ruin the movie. The movie's still one of my favorites. That's because the section is brief, and some of the backstory related to the replicant uprising is important context, even if it could be put in elsewhere. It also speeds up the introduction of the world in order to get the story moving. With all this talk about exposition dumpsters, it's time for the bombshell. The first exposition dumpster of Ready Player One is basically 13 minutes long. Except for a few lines of dialogue in between, the first 13 minutes of the movie is spent by the main character Wade giving background on the Oasis, the contest, and the real world of Columbus, Ohio in 2045. Really. A lot of this section plays no significant role to anything. Theme, character, plot, nothing. But enough with the vague accusations. It's time to look at the section in all its glory. The voiceover starts as follows. Hey! What is it now? You said I could be in your video, and you're not letting me go in the video. I said you could be in eventually. But you said I could be in the middle. It's not even the middle of the video yet. It's not. Fine, I'll let you go on. Yeet! But first, I need to address something to the audience, I guess. I am a cartoon character. This guy is a cartoon character. We're both drawn terribly. We're not necessarily reflections of the guy. We're our own things. We just popped into existence because my creator is a piece of crap, and he's basically stuffed me in this little black box with only the company of a half-wit twin. Okay, that's about all. I think that's everything. Okay, so back to you, Box Boy 2. It's really what the creator named you. You can say the voiceover.
Thank you so much. Books, boy.
Alright. Now we can finally frickin' start.
I was born in 2027. After the corn syrup droughts, after the bandwidth riots, after people stopped trying to fix problems and just tried to outlive them.
This statement's supposed to establish the movie's cyberpunk setting, even when the visual representation of the stacks does that on its own. The corn syrup droughts and the bandwidth riots could be stripped from the script, and the same feeling of reclusiveness and longing for escapism would stay intact.
My parents, they didn't make it through those times.
We'll get back to that. I need to mention something. Whenever I skip a piece of the section, it will be because it is so useless that I don't need to justify its removal or even give it a passing comment.
In 2045, Columbus is the fastest growing city in America.
This information subtly informs us of the economic importance of the Oasis, because the people of Columbus have a reliable connection to the Oasis servers after the energy crisis, and that's only in the book version. Okay. So that line means nothing without the book for context. Got it.
He showed us that we could go somewhere without going anywhere at all.
That statement doesn't make much sense in and of itself. You can already go to other places without leaving. It's called dreaming. This sentence also makes it seem like VR games don't already exist at the moment. They do. Hey Box Boy 2. The voiceover's done. I'm going to edit the video now.
Yay! Thanks for letting me help you. I'm gonna go now and stare at the black box.
Okay, so I have found some clips that say the rest of the voiceover, so that annoying twat will not be in the rest of the video.
You can do anything. Go anywhere. Like the vacation planet. Surf a 50-foot monster wave in Hawaii. You can ski down the pyramids. You can climb Mount Everest with Batman. Check out this place.
No. I get that the point of this part is to show how big the Oasis is, but you don't have to describe everything that's happening on the... Wait. Who are you saying this to? The book tried to pretend it was for some autobiographical account of the contest, but the guy explains things about the Oasis that everyone should know. It's even worse here, because that flimsy excuse is dropped and nothing replaces it.
Planet Doom. The most dangerous place in the Oasis. And pretty great place to pick up coin. Figures H would be there. H is my best friend in the Oasis. He's my best friend, period. Even though I've never actually met him in the real world.
Pause trash. A common sign of lazy writing is characters explicitly stating relationships. There is an element of suspension of disbelief that goes into watching a movie, but how many people call someone they know their best friend? Maybe I'm out of touch and... Wait, of course I'm out of touch. I'm talking about a movie that's almost a year old. Another thing. Wade says he's never met H in the real world, and it's kind of redundant based on what we've seen of Wade in Columbus so far. Earlier, Wade says that reality sucks and that everything is done in the Oasis. Wouldn't it be a reasonable assumption that Wade hasn't met someone he talked to on the Oasis? H mentions this fact in a later scene too, and I think I finally get it. Ready Player One is trying to use the almighty three-step rule to try to fit in some reincorporation, whether or not it feels ham-fisted or not. At the end of the movie, it's revealed that, surprise, surprise, H is a girl in real life. Wow. The angle of who is this person in real life crap gets played with love interest as well. That's Artemis. So I'm sure authenticity is one of the core values of the story, even though Wade doesn't look challenged in any of the reveal scenes since he's a Gary Stu. This nitpicking may seem unwarranted, but I really want to drive home how unwarranted this exposition really is. I know that exposition is a necessity for world building and character setups, but when the exposition comes at the cost of characters, which I will get to later, it just doesn't work. I need to finish sifting through the garbage.
You see, everyone starts the same, but the more coin you make, the more you level up. If you get killed, your avatar can come back to life, but you lose all your stuff. Everything you've ever worked for. All your money. Your clothes. Your weapons. Since
You did it. Specific information that requires direct exposition. Wow! It still doesn't need a voiceover. The movie has several instances where the game's creator James Halliday talks about his game and life post-mortem. Just one of these could have included this vital explanation of the game's basic mechanics. Another side tangent, voiceovers, like exposition, aren't necessarily bad either. But what is the purpose of Ready Player One's voiceover? What is the purpose of Wade voicing it? What do these voiceovers say about Wade himself? All of these questions have the same answer, and it's nothing.
Hello, I'm James Halliday. If you're watching this, I'm dead. Before I died, I created what we in the biz call an Easter egg. A hidden object in a game that gives special powers to whoever discovers it.
Easter eggs don't give powers to users. That is all. Wait, I do have one more thing to say about Halliday's speech. This is one of the few instances in the exposition dumpster where the direct delivery is understandable. The content in and of itself is still cliche and a little long, but it's at least showcased to the people interested in the Oasis and not just to the audience.
In the form of my avatar, Anorak the All-Knowing, I created 3 keys. 3 hidden challenges test for worthy traits, revealing 3 hidden keys to 3 magic gates. And those with the skill to survive these traits will reach the end, where the prize awaits.
The challenge is to find 3 keys. That's it. This happens right after the speech. That's it. It's insulting my intelligence and love of cyberpunk. It thinks I have the memory of Dory. It thinks its fans have the memory of Dory. Some of them admittedly do, but that's not the point. The only ones still trying are the Gunters, as in egg hunters, like me and Sho and Dido, and my best friend H. I'm done. The exposition isn't done, but I'm done. Now that the dissections are over, let's see what's been left out. All character arcs. Okay. Conflict. Only hinted to at the very end. Personality. Maybe if a couple pop culture references are satisfactory. But you know what's really important? The graphics. Yes, graphics. Look at those visuals. Wow. Wow. They look dated when compared to 2008's Avatar, but wow. Well, that's my first video in this new series. Me, Boxboy. The creator doesn't actually do anything. We have the same voice, but it's not really him. I really do all the work. So it just looks like he's going to take the credit, but just letting you guys know it's all me. Consider this taste of things to come. Criticize it. If you have any problems, if you like it, then that's great. If you don't, then say what you didn't like. I will make something later. Bye.